Welcome back to another episode of Stacked, where this time we're going to stay on track with our content and our data, and we're going to talk about how to use real data to write content that actually converts. Here's the secret the top marketers don't want you to know. They're not more creative than you, they just steal better. They scrape conversations, complaints, reviews, and reactions and turn that into marketing gold. In this episode of Stacked, I'll show you how to scrape live audience data, sync it into your strategy, and sell using the exact words your people are already thinking. No guessing, no fluff, just revenue-aligned messaging built from reality. Most solo entrepreneurs write content by sitting at a blank screen and asking, what should I say today? That question will waste years, or at least it feels like it. If you're not using data, then you're literally just guessing. And guessing sounds like, we help business owners elevate, or maybe unlock your next level, or we understand your needs. It's vague, it's forgettable, and it's filler. Real messaging doesn't come from your brain, it comes from their pain. Here are the top 5 goldmine sources for seeing exactly what your customers' pain points are. We talked about these a little bit last episode. Amazon reviews, Google reviews, Facebook reviews, any place that you can find reviews, look at the 3-star and below. These are going to be balanced, but they're also going to be raw and talking about exactly where that company or that product fell short on their expectations. You can also check Reddit threads, which is basically just Google scraping and pulling together everything all in one. It's a lot easier to look it up that way. And this is real problems and real people, and there is no filters. You can also check YouTube comments, but like we said last episode, make sure you're looking at YouTube videos that have a ton of engagement or from YouTube creators who have a lot of followers. You either want a lot of followers or a lot of engagement so that you can tell that this is the overall consensus of a population. 1 to 2 comments is not going to give you any real usable data. But YouTube comments are typically very emotional, and a lot of times when you're having a lot of, let's say, 500 plus comments that are mainly negative, those are going to be because of unmet expectations. So read through the lines, or literally read the lines in some cases, and figure out what those unmet expectations are. You can read social media posts, and the rantier really here, the better, which is a little bit backwards of how you typically would want to consume social media. But in this case, you're literally looking for the pain points, the consistent pain points, right? Not just somebody complaining because they just love to complain, but what are the actual and true experiences of the general population? And then also check out your own shortcomings. We talked about this last episode, but if you have gotten bad feedback or you have gotten negative surveys, you need to look into how you can improve that. And honestly, use language that's going to tell the customers, like, we used to be one of these companies. Be real, be vulnerable. And you need to look for repeating frustrations. You also want to look for, I just want statements. I just want an easier process. I just want to use one software. You want to look at objections and hesitations so that you can overcome those before they even come out of your prospect's mouth. And what didn't work for them in the past? What didn't work for the product? What didn't work for the service, the industry, or with you? You're not looking for answers. You're really just looking for language patterns here. And now here's the real play. Take that raw scraped data and plug it into ChatGPT using a structured prompt like this. Here are 20 customer reviews about time management software or whatever industry or product you're in. Identify the 5 biggest pain points, 5 emotional triggers, and turn that into a landing page headline, a call to action, and a follow-up nurture email. Now, you can physically copy and paste these things, or now with the new improvements to ChatGPT, you can actually just screenshot where these things are and drop the image into ChatGPT, and it can scrape the image for what you're talking about. Now, you can do the same thing for podcast intro copy. You can do the same thing for Instagram captions, sales pages, ad copies, objection handling. Just tell ChatGPT what it is that you want it to write and give it the context of what you're trying to go for. You don't need to write better. You just need a prompt from better inputs. When you don't give ChatGPT the context, it can't give you high quality outputs. Here's how we bake this into Dallowry Flow. We use surveys in onboarding and offboarding to gather live phrases, and because language patterns change, especially as people get to know a particular industry or product. We tag CRM contacts by what words they respond to. So did they say overwhelmed, burnt out, dropped the ball? We track the click-through rates based on the message framing. What button is getting the most amount of clicks? And should we use that particular language or that color combo in more of our buttons? We use AI to rewrite weak-performing emails. So they had a lot of people open, but no interaction. And we also use top-converting phrases from scraped data inside of those emails. This builds a self-improving message system. We're constantly auditing our own system and our own results, as well as the industry and the public's experience. You're not just marketing, you're evolving now. Steal like a strategist. Your next client is telling you what to say. You just haven't scraped it yet. You can download the Audience Goldmine Kit in the podcast episode description below. A simple framework to find, organize, and use the real language your audience responds to, plus plug and play prompts to sync it into your content that actually sells. This is Stacked, where we automate, elevate, and repeat.